Hello class, welcome to week 13. I want to talk about two things in this video. One is your week 13 work and the other is your revision. So for week 13 you have 3 posts. I'm just going to look at my computer here. You're doing a reading response to Zinser's introduction. You're doing a reader response to Life with Mother, and you're doing a reader response to Learning to Chill Out. You'll notice that there are not exercises due this week. It's just the 3 reader response boards. So please make sure that you do the reading and that you respond. As always, please make sure you have 1 initial post by Friday and 3 replies by Sunday, and that's for each forum. Regarding your revision, that's right around the corner here. So I just wanted to cover that quickly. For your revision, I'm going to pull up this handout here. The handout is viewable under assignments. So for the revision essay, your maximum word count is 2,500 words. So yes, that is bigger than what you were allowed before. It's due Monday 24th at noon. It's worth 100 points. So the essay consists of 3 parts. 1, the essay you are choosing to share with the class. 2, a minimum of 4 questions for group responses to your work. Some of you have been struggling with the difference between a craft-based question and a reader response question. Reader response questions are questions like, what was the moral of the story? How did the reader feel about this? What do you think happened in the plot, etc. I don't want reader response questions. I want craft-based questions. So for example, was my dialogue realistic? Do you think my pacing was okay? Am I doing a good job of showing and not telling? Questions like that. While we're on the topic of showing and not telling, a lot of you are struggling with telling. Now, the problem with telling is that telling is summarizing. So anytime you find yourself summarizing any plot point within the text, there's a problem. So the reason that there is a problem is because you're often taking the conflict right out of the piece. A lot of us avoid conflict in our regular everyday lives, but you can't avoid conflict in your writing because conflict is where the interest is. Also, make sure that you have a clear driving question at the beginning of the piece. What does the narrator of your story want or seek to achieve through the piece? There needs to be something, because there needs to be a reason that the reader is continuing to read your piece. Now, the conflict is what keeps your reader from getting what he or she wants. If you want more information about driving questions and conflict, I've uploaded 2 videos under, sorry, let me just double check what it's called. The writerly advice. I uploaded 2 videos, like little mini lectures, in which I talk about conflict and driving question. Every single story needs them, so if you think that your story is one of those that needs them, please watch one of those videos. So showing versus telling, another really great way to make sure that you're showing and not telling is by giving us a scene, like a setting, and also giving us dialogue. So please make sure that you consider those things when you're working through your revision. Additionally, I want a short process essay describing how you approach the revision of your work. The process essay should be approximately 500 words and does not count as your 2,500 word requirement for the revision. So you can write 2,500 words for that revision and then 500 words, so it's 3,000 words total. I don't want to read any more than 500 words regarding your process. Because again, like I am reading everybody's stories, and if you add too much to that, then you're adding hours on to my grading time. But the truth of the matter is that revision is about re-envisioning. A couple of things I want to talk about in this video involve not writing just for your critique group. So your critique group may have had comments for your writing, and I may have had comments, but you need to make revisions based on what you feel is necessary for the piece. I also don't want to see a revision that is just line editing. If all you've done is change a couple of things here and there based on your classmates' feedback and on my feedback, you will receive a 0 for the piece. Think about it this way. If you are working a shift at whatever job you have and you're paid for that shift, it's not fair that you're paid a second time for working that same shift. So you need, if you expect to get points for it, you need to completely rewrite the piece, re-envision the process, completely rewrite it if you want the points. I know that sounds terrifying, but trust that your writing will always bring through the strong and important details and will leave out the weak details. Trust your writing. Other notes in regard to revision, just sit down and mold the clay, as we say. Your first draft was word vomiting the clay onto the page, and now the revision is shaping and molding. So you can see one theme out of the piece, and this draft is intended to pull that theme out a little bit better. Again, this is where showing comes into play, because you don't want to have any paragraphs that tell you what the narrator is thinking and feeling. You want to be able to show us through action and through speech what that character is thinking and feeling. It's a hard thing to do, but you can do it, I promise. Okay, so regarding anything in this video, if you have questions, please email me. Otherwise, good luck with your revision. I have the handout uploaded. I have, let me see what else I have uploaded. Under assignments, I'm clicking on it, and then I'm scrolling down to where it says revision essay due Monday, November 24th at noon. It has essay requirements, and it also has good questions for feedback. So those are some of those craft-based questions I was talking about. Additionally, you have a couple of other things coming up due, just 2 other assignments that are due by the end of the semester. And this is actually due Monday the 17th, so it would be good to do those this week. You have a post-assessment survey, which is the same thing that you filled out at the beginning of the semester. The objective is to read it and determine whether you've learned something. And then the reflective essay is due on Monday the 17th as well. There are guidelines for that reflective essay, but essentially you're just in first person telling me what you've learned this semester through various exercises, through the work, through the readings, and through your own writing. All right, all. Well, it's a pleasure being in week 13 with you all. We only have a couple more weeks, so keep up the good work.